Alright, let's get started preparing this model to be painted on within Substance Painter. Whether it's a game engine or Maya, there's a few prep steps that we have to do right now. One is to assign new material IDs, and a material ID is a shader. Let me assign that now. By assigning shaders on the face level, this means you can paint these groups of faces together without having to mask out the object. Selecting the faces, right-click, assign new material. I'm choosing a Lambert. Later on, when I come back to Maya, I'll apply an Arnold standard surface material. If this object was going to Unity, Unreal, I would just leave it Lambert and then wire in the PBR materials in the game engine. Giving it a color coding makes it easier to find in the Hypershade and also to see what parts have been broken up. If you make a mistake, like I did right here, let me reassign these faces. Right-click, assign existing material, and I'll assign it to the tank's bottom. Selecting this face, right-click, assign existing material, and I'll assign that face to the material ID of front tank right there, and spin around again. I'm only going to be focusing on this front part for this video. The process is exactly the same for doing the whole object. Next part is to make this mesh smooth. Right now, this is how it looks. A little boxy. Going under Mesh Smooth. Okay, create divisions of 2. Now we have a smooth surface to paint on. I'll edit delete by type history, which is under edit delete by type history, or just right up here. When you export a smooth, not all game engines recognize the smoothness, nor will Substance Painter. I'll smooth out the other parts while I'm here. Mesh Smooth. Set that to 2. And then edit delete by type history, clicking that icon. I'll press the G key in Maya, which just repeats the last tool used. And delete the history. The next step is to triangulate this model. Game engines and Substance Painter prefer triangulated models. If you don't triangulate your model, you'll notice that the ambient occlusions might not look correct in the high definition render pipelines. To triangulate, select the object, go into Mesh, Triangulate. That was easy. And I'll do the same thing for this part. I'll just press the G key and Mesh Triangulate, same as pressing the G key. I'll also do this for the cylinder. All right, one last step. We have to look at the UV coordinate systems on all these objects. In the description, you'll find a more detailed video going through UVs. I'm just going to rocket through this in order to get to Substance Painter as quick as possible. Go to UV Editor. This shows the layout of this tank. And if you start painting on here, this layout doesn't look anything like this tank. I'm going to create UV projections. Luckily, I color-coded with the material IDs everything. If you go under Windows, Rendering Editors, Hypershade, and then match color to color here, if I right-click on this swatch in the Hypershade, and then go to Select Objects with Material, only those faces are selected. Excellent. The two good choices will be UV, Automatic, and Normal Based. And I'm looking for this projection to be kind of more painterly friendly. This doesn't look like fun to paint on yet. Too much stretchiness going on here, and lots of density here, and then it stretches over here. I'll get to the side of the tank in a moment. I'm doing right now the main tank. Here's the stretchies. Normal based or automatic. I'm going to select automatic. And that looks a little better to paint on. Let me repeat this for the sides. Selecting the swatch for the side material here. Right-click, select objects with material. Let me apply UV automatic mapping again and take a look in the UV editor as this happens. So this becomes a nice fuller surface to paint out on. Just have to do the rest of the parts. Now the UVs are all done. Time to export this as an FBX and get it into Substance Painter. Select the object, and I'm selecting this tank and also these other objects. Substance Painter can paint on multiple objects, and that's why I'm including these objects related to the tank within this paint session. Export selected. Select FBX. Next step is to open this up in Substance Painter and get started painting.